When Miss Emily Grierson died, the whole town went to her funeral. Some men threw a sort of respectful affection for a fallen monument. The women
You need to go near that house.
mostly out of curiosity to see the inside of her house, which no one save an old manservant, a combined gardener and cook, had seen in at least 10 years. It was a big, squarish frame house that had once been white, decorated with cupolas and spires and scrolled balconies in the heavily lightsome style of the 70s, set in what had once been our most select street. But garages and cotton gins had crouched and obliterated even the august name of the neighborhood. Only Miss Emily's house was left, lifting its stubborn and coquettish decay among the cotton wagons and the gasoline pumps, an eyesore among eyesores. And now Miss Emily had gone to join the representatives of those august names, where they lay in the set-up-bemused cemetery among the ranked and anonymous graves of Union and Confederate soldiers who fell at the Battle of Jefferson. Alive, Miss Emily had been a tradition, a duty and a care, a sort of hereditary obligation upon the town, dating from that day in 1894 when Colonel Sartoris, the mayor, he who fathered the edict that no Negro woman should appear on the street without an apron, remitted her taxes, the dispensation dating from the death of her father on into perpetuity.
Colonel Sartoris, I would like it to be in my will that the Grierson family shall not pay any taxes in Jefferson.
Is that so?
Yes.
Sure.
Not that Miss Emily who had accepted charity. Not that Miss Emily's father had loaned money to the town, which the town, as a matter of business, preferred this way of paying. Only a man of Colonel Sartoris' generation, and although could have invented it, and only a woman could have believed it. The townspeople of Jefferson believed that the Griersons had a streak of insanity in their blood, and that they held themselves a little too high for what they really were. None of the young men were quite good enough for Miss Emily and such.
I want you to stop seeing this man, Emily. He is beloved of our family.
But Papa!
I will hear no more of this, Emily.
So when she got to be 30 and was still single, they were not pleased exactly, but vindicated. Even with insanity in the family, she wouldn't have turned down all of her chances if they really materialized. And so the day after her father's death, all the ladies prepared to call at the house and offer condolence and aid, as is our custom. At last, they could pity Miss Emily. But Miss Emily met them at the door, dressed as usual and with no trace of grief on her face. She told them that her father was not dead.
Miss Emily Grierson, you need to bury your father.
No! No, my father is not dead!
She did that for 3 days, with the ministers calling on her, and the doctors trying to persuade her to let them dispose of the body. Just as they were about to resort to law and force, she broke down, and they buried her father quickly. In the summer after her father's death, the town had just let the contracts for paying the sidewalks, and they began the work. The construction company came with niggers and mules and machinery, and the foreman named Homer Barron, a Yankee, a big, dark, ready man, with a big voice and eyes lighter than his face.
Hey you! No. You! How's the job doing?
Okay.
What about you?
No problem, sir.
Okay. You better fix that on time.
Yes, sir.
Presently, we began to see him and Miss Emily on Sunday afternoons, driving in the yellow-wheeled buggy and the matched team of bays from the livery stable. It was then when the ladies of Jefferson started to say, "Poor Emily," and such. They pitied her and whispered things about her, saying things like, "She will marry him," for they all saw Miss Emily going to town and buying all sorts of men's clothing. Then some of the ladies began to say that it was a disgrace to the town and a bad example to the young people, for they all knew, because Homer himself had remarked, that he liked men, and he was not the marrying type. So they wrote to Miss Emily's relatives, and soon after, her two cousins came by to visit. But Miss Emily carried her head high enough, even through all of that pitying and whispering. It was as if she demanded more than ever the recognition of her dignity as the last Grierson, as if she had wanted that touch of earthiness to reaffirm her imperviousness, like when she bought the rat poison when her cousins were visiting her.
I want some poison.
Yes, Miss Emily. What kind of poison? For rats and such, I'd recommend.
I want the best you have. I don't care what kind.
We have many poisonous drugs here in our drugstore. Like alcohols. Name one.
Arsenic.
But arsenic is too...
I want arsenic.
Here you go, ma'am.
So we all thought she will kill herself. And we all said it would be the best thing, rather than be heartbroken by her one and only sweetheart. But we were surprised to see Homer Barron return to the Grierson house after Miss Emily's cousins left. And he entered the house and stayed there, and we all said, "They are married." And that was the last that we saw of Homer Barron. No one knew what came of him. We all saw him enter Miss Emily's house, but we never saw him leave. We all assumed he had deserted her, that he could not marry her. After her father's death, she went out very little. After her sweetheart went away, people hardly ever saw her at all. A few of the ladies had the temerity to call, but were not received. So much so that when a strange smell came about her house, no one, not even the new mayor, could call upon her to do something about it. They all said it was probably just some rat that Miss Emily's Negro manservant had killed. But after several more complaints, the men snuck inside Miss Emily's house after dark and sprinkled her lawn with lime, then quietly slunk away like burglars. After a week or two, the smell disappeared. And so, we saw Miss Emily far less and far less. Now and then, people would see her sitting by the window for a moment, her hair turning grayer and grayer as the years rolled by. It was with a strange fascination the whole town came to watch old Miss Emily. Of what came to be, her secret life. The last time we saw her alive was when the young men of Jefferson came to ask her about her unpaid taxes. As the new mayor revoked her father's last will, she is now not exempted from taxes. And so a deputation awaited upon her and knocked on her door.
Miss Emily, have you received your taxes?
I have no taxes in Jefferson. Colonel Sartorius explained it to me. Perhaps one of you can gain taxes to the city records and explain it to yourselves.
But we have. We are the serial authorities, Miss Emily. Haven't you received any notice from the sheriff signed by him?
I received paper, yes. He considered himself the sheriff. But see Colonel Sartorius.
But there is nothing in the books to show that, you see.
See Colonel Sartorius.
Miss Emily, Colonel Sartorius has been dead for 10 years.
I have no taxes in Jefferson. Toby!
Madam Emily!
Show this gentleman out!
She has vanquished them, horse and foot, just as she had vanquished her father 30 years before about the smell. And so she died, fell ill in the house filled with dust and shadows, with only a doddering Negro man to wait on her. We did not even know she was sick. We had long since given up trying to get any information from the Negro. He talked to no one, probably not even to her, for his voice had grown harsh and rusty, as if from disuse. She died in one of the downstairs rooms, in a heavy walnut bed with a curtain, her gray head propped on a pillow, yellow and moldy with age and lack of sunlight. The Negro met the first of the ladies at the front door and let them in, with their hushed, sibilant voices and the quick, curious glances, and then he disappeared. He walked right through the house and out the back, and was not seen again.